Hello everybody and welcome to a very overcast Sebring International Raceway here for round number 10 of the iRacing Israel League live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Dane Baird and alongside me in the commentary booth is Adam Barth as always with Samudi Kumo in the production. Adam, we've had a fantastic first 9 races of the season. We're getting ready for round number 10 of 12 and I'm really looking forward to this one, and we've got a couple of familiar faces.
Yeah, qualifying and practice look exceptionally close at the moment, and yeah, we've got quite a few guys that we are used to seeing at the front there right now, with the likes of Ruben Chachasvili, Ryan Gross, Michael Schilling, all setting very competitive times in the qualifying so far. And we've also got the reigning NASCAR Euro Wheeling Series champion, the new champion, Alon Day, who, as like in 2 weeks ago, the previous race, is going to be starting at the back just to throw an extra spanner into the works there. So we're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here. And Sebring International Raceway is very tough, as you can see from these shots here of Ruben Chachasvili. It is an incredibly bumpy circuit. The tarmac, this place has not been resurfaced in donkey's years. And of course on the front strip we've got the very bumpy old surface to use for the runway. So these Porsches, they are going to need to be set up in the right way, otherwise we could see a few frills and spills here tonight.
Absolutely, everyone's running a fixed setup in this series, and the setup has been developed by the man currently in 4th position in qualifying, Shava Katelshvili, who is leading the championship standings, which I believe we can get up on the screen for everyone to see. Wait a couple of seconds for those to be ready as we see the drivers heading through the famous sunset bend. There are the championship standings then. Shava leading with a considerable lead. That looks like 89 points from my quick maths. Oren Sade in 2nd, Maddie Bikar in 3rd, Michael Schirling in 4th. You can see down those points, very, very close outside of the top couple of positions. Abim Eshleim in 5th, Reem Gross in 6th, then Hagai Farren, Yossi Gabai, Dekel Noren, Alan Zeltzer ran out the top 10. Ori Lahav in 11th. Look how close these points are. We've got 4 drivers separated by 2 points in the middle of the field. Alan Zoltz, Ori Lahav, Nim Mizrahi and Ruben Chachasvili there. And a couple points down is John Chico, Sardekel, Gil Epstein, Ron Cohen and Michael Simon in 18th. And he is around about 100 or so points behind the leader. Got a couple more drivers here, Maciej Pinchevsky, Dor Malko, Tomo Ventura, really close here as well. All the drivers only separated by a couple of points between each one. And they're down to 38th. Lots of drivers. Dorian Tabashnik all the way down in 31st. Obviously used to seeing him in the GT4s. He came back for a couple of rounds, but he decided that the Porsche Cup car wasn't for him. Hopefully we'll have him back in the future if we change cars. And there is current provisional pole position man, Ruben Chachasvili. And he's taken a bit of a rallycross line there. Here is Reem Gross dealing with a bit of traffic, which he won't have wanted. That 13 car just ahead of him has a bit of damage as well. A couple taps to the walls maybe. He's going to cross the line. Is it going to be fast enough to improve? No, it's not.
You can see Reem Gross's profile there in the bottom left-hand side of your picture as well. Got a bit of traffic. Oh, and he collides with him at the start of his next lap. Oh, and takes it with him for good measure as well. So both heading back to the pits. I think that might have been Nirkot Mizrahi that he made contact with there, as both retired back to the pits. And here's Hagai Farren, the driver you were mentioning earlier, just overtaking, I believe that was Michael Schirling that was off there. And Farren just coming up to the 90-degree right-hander at Tower. And then it's the run through the final sector, which is exceptionally quick. You've got the S-bends here, and then you've got the back straight down towards Sunset Bend, the final corner, 180-degree hairpin, and then you're back onto the front straight again. So the tough corners keep on coming here, and this is where you can really gain and lose quite a lot of time. These are some really quick corners, and you are able to use that tarmac run, well, that concrete runoff area on the outside before heading onto the back straight.
Absolutely, track extending as much as possible. Not as much as I believe that was Ron Cohen in the background there, who just went straight on at that final right-hander. In the background of that shot, onto the grass, into the wall. These cars don't like the grass at all. Once you get on it, you have absolutely zero grip, and it is a one-way ticket to whatever the outside barrier may be Here comes Farron now, just on the cutoff of qualifying. Checkered flag is out. Drivers will be able to finish their lap times, including Farron. There was about a second to spare in that. And he doesn't improve on his time. I think everyone's worn out their tyres pretty much past their optimum position. That was Nico Mizrahi on the inside there, on the grass, getting out of the way. Here is Sardekel. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. That's not going to help his lap time. I think that might have been Rom Itak or potentially Yehuda Ben Yosef. But he's coming through these really tricky corners. That curve on the inside of the left hand that has a huge bump on it. Oh, and that is Yossi Gabai spinning in front. Dekel's not going to let that phase him at all as he comes down the back straight. Just one corner to go now for the rest of his qualifying session, and we'll see if he can improve. Really tricky braking zone, turning the whole way over this really bumpy concrete. Late apex. Aiming for that orange cone on the inside. The number 24 car, Alpha Tauri livery car, comes across the line. Where is he going to go? Up into 8. That was a big improvement on his lap there. Good, 3/4.
Yeah, a lot of green boxes from Sardekel on that late flying lap, and you're right, able to get within just over a second of Ruben Chachashvili. Is really impressive, 2:03.0. What can Rancioni do? Currently 23rd, and he stays 23rd with a 2:06.1. That was well, a couple of attempts slower than his personal best of a 2:05.8. And Sebring is, well, in these cars, quite a long circuit, as we're seeing here with the 2-minute lap times, and as a result of that, we are seeing quite a big field spread in terms of lap times, all the way down to really CO in 25th place. We've got a 3-second difference, but here's Haggai Farron then. A whole load of green boxes and a purple final box. Is this going to be enough to be pole? Yes! Wow. 2:03.016, a fantastic lap from Haggai Farron. Gets pole position right at the depth here.
Absolutely, he's flashing the headlights. He knows he's happy with that lap. And with his main rivals all in the pit lane, I think there's a couple of drivers left. Rancioni, who's already finished his qualifying session. It's just Rom Itak, it seems, who has a little bit of time left in qualifying. But I don't think this has been a very good lap from him, because he started his lap before it was checkered, and it's been checkered for quite some time now. Going to come around the final corner now. Oh, that's very wide, a little bit on the grass. Is he going to make it out off the grass in time? He just about manages it. And he takes a 2 minutes 04.9, which is not good enough. And that brings out the checkered flag for the session then. And we will get ready to grid up as the public areas fill up with RVs around here at Sebring. We got the grid on the screen then. Haggai Farron, great lap at the end of the qualifying session there, past the checkered flag to take pole position. Ruben Chachashvili just pipped there. He's going to settle for second. Reem Goss in third, Michael Shirley in fourth, Shalva Kotelshvili in fifth, then Madi Bakar in sixth, and Meshalam Sardekel, John Chico, and Oren Sade on the final 2 rows of the top 10. Rom Itek and Aiden Sher round out the top 12 then. Yossi Gabai in 13th, Nico Mizrahi in 14th. And then we have Ron Cohen, Dekel Nar, Gil Epstein, Michael Simon, Gilad Heskia, and Ori Lahav in rounding out the top 20. Then Yehuda Ben Yosef, David Dayag, Rancioni, Alon Zeltzer in the top 24. Final page then, we've got Really Sir in 25th, Ido Isaac in 26th, Toma Ventura in 27th, then Leon Portman, Elad Weinrab, Moshe Panchevsky, Mr. Alon Day, reigning champion here in the iRacing Israel League, and Dor Malka will start last on the grid. Alon Day coming back to the series for the last couple of weeks. He wants to try and work his way up through the field, starting from last, didn't set a qualifying lap. So that's going to be someone to watch out for, as almost everyone on the grid just waiting for one more driver there.
Yeah, and the qualifying times between the top 3 were exceptionally close. I think it was just less than a tenth of a second in it. So hopefully that translates into a really good race at the front, as I think we've got everybody in their grid slots now.
You're absolutely right. Getting on 2 minutes on the grid. Drivers are getting ready. Revs are rising. The lights are off and we go green from Sebring. And it is a good start from Haggai Barron. He's having to fend off from Reem Gross, who got an even better start. He's already up the inside, sends one up the inside. Little bit of contact made potentially. And that sent Haggai Barron around, just unsettled the car a little bit. Big move there. He's all the way dropping down the field. He will be last on the grid then as they file their way through. There is Ruben Chachashvili. He was cursed there. He had absolutely nowhere to go. More carnage. They file through the really tricky first sector here. A couple more drives off that looked like Oriel Herf and Diag potentially. Here is Ron Cohen in the number 4 Braun GP livery car, but it is Reem Gross who wins then. We do, I believe, potentially have live stewarding. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we might see some penalties being dished out. But Reem Gross leads, Meshalam in second, then Sherling, Bakar and Kvitelshvili the top 5. Oh, and Meshalam spun, collected by Michael Sherling. Shalva gets passed up into third. I wonder if there was contact involved there. I think he might have just lost it under braking.
It might have been a shunt, but I didn't want to. I'm apologise to everybody up front. I think I've cursed them because I think we're only down to one driver out of those 3 that were separated by just a tenth at the end of the qualifying session. I'm not too sure whether Haggai Farron spun as a result of damage sustained at the rear. We may have to have a replay of that. But then it was Chachashvili that was trying to avoid it all on the outside, but then lost it going into the S's, and then a whole lot more carnage ensued in front of him. And yeah, down in the second half of the lap, some more chaos carried on there. So it's resulted in a bit of a change top 10, quite a bit in fact, because Reem Gross, who started third, is now leading with Matty Bakar up 4 places to second, and this guy, Shalva, up in third place. And I think he might be trying to set his sights on a little bit higher than that as he comes out of Sunset Bend.
Absolutely, he's looking to get past Matty Bakar then. Side by side in towards turn number 1. He's going to go all the way around the outside. Has he got clear? Just about. Around the outside. That's a beautiful move from Shalva up into second then. And he has now got his eyes set on Reem Gross, who did win that round. His first round of the season back in Road Atlanta. Oh, and there was a bit of a curb strike there from Bakar. He's gone a little bit wide. He's now got Michael Sherling trying to go around the outside of the long right-hander onto this back straight section down and towards the hairpin. Bakar will have the inside line. Who's going to be latest on the brakes though? It is Sherling, and he has the move done. Around the outside into the hairpin he goes, and he is up into third.
Yeah, good move there from Sherling, taking advantage of the lethal curbs here. It's an old surface, and also the curbs are pretty old as well, so if you do strike them, it's not like curves you see at Formula 1 circuits now. They are really unforgiving, and as a result of that, Bakar did end up paying the price here. Here is Alon Day then, up 17 places. No further action from the stewards for all of the issues that we saw in the first lap, but Alon Day, he's managed to avoid it all, and that is not a error on the graphics. That is true. He's up 17 places and is on the fringes of the top 10.
Absolutely. He came back last time out for round number 9. He told us in the interview after the race he was getting a bit bored and he thought he would join us back, but he didn't want to involve himself in any championship battles. He didn't want to interfere, so he's starting from the back. And yeah, up 17 positions, and I believe he's going to gain one more because that is Ron Cohen all the way on the outside, who's disappeared. Oh dear, Alon caught out just a little bit by that, and he's now going to side draft down the back straight. They come in towards Sunset Corner. This is a very risky place to make an overtake. Alon Day, oh, big lock up there. That was Heskia in the background. Almost slammed into the back of Ron Cohen, but Alon Day making that move up the inside. He's up into 13th now, 18 positions up from where he started, and 31st at the start of this race. And it is fastest lap of the race for Shalva in second, closing down the gap to Reem Gross ahead of him.
Yeah, I wonder if Ron Cohen had a screen freeze or something, because as off goes into the wall, Gil Epstein, and he was running just in front of Ron Cohen and Alon Day and the like. And I think he's still struggling to get going again. But that is one more car that we've seen make an error in the early stages of this race. It's shades of going back to the Charlotte Roval here. Quite a lot of cars losing it at turn 1.
Yeah, definitely. Yehuda Ben-Yosef really caught out by that mistake there from Epstein, and that allowed Alain Day to get up the inside of him in towards what I think was turn 2. And now Alain Day up into 11. That's up 20 positions from where he started. That is Haggai Farron getting past Alon Zeltzer, who looks like he just outbraked himself, even in towards the hairpin. Very easy to do. I've done that many times. I lost the race, in fact, by doing that on the last lap of the race. In these cars, very easy to lock up the brakes, and once you do, they will just go in a straight line. And yeah, he's really under pressure now from Dekel Na in the 49 car as they come through another one of the tricky corners. Sebring, a really tricky circuit. Lots of the corners are out to get you, with whether it's the dirt on the outside, the bumpiness. The bumpiness really does get you here. All the tricky braking zones, as this corner proves to be. And riding on board with Dekel Na now, coming through this S's sequence and back onto the back straight. Schauber's caught up 3/10 on that last lap. He's now within 4/10, or just over 4/10 behind Reem Goss at the front of the field.
Here comes Dekel Na. Is it going to be 18th place for the 49 car? Yes, it is. Straight up the inside, and not much of a fight wasn't there from Alon Zeltzer. Just finishing on that point on Ron Cohen, I think he must have had a screen freeze, because he took that right-hander onto the back straight at such a wide angle. I think he was guessing where the corner was, and then we saw him disappear briefly, and then he came back. So he may have had a few issues there, but it looks like he's carried on now, carried on since, and he's up the 13th place, up 2 positions, and he's got Yehuda Ben-Yosef just 5/10 of a second up the road. But you're right about Schalve. Last time around 2:03.4, 3/10 of a second quicker than Reem Gross. And the gap is now around a quarter of a second, with Michael Schürling, like we saw a couple of rounds ago, waiting to take advantage of any potential contact that could take place in front of us.
Absolutely, and he is man on a mission as well. Last lap, 2 minutes 03.31. Yehuda Ben-Yosef gets a stop and go penalty for causing a collision. So Epstein, when we saw him spun round at the beginning of lap 3, just ahead of Alain Day, that wasn't a mistake from him. That was Yehuda Ben-Yosef making contact with him. The stewards have deemed that to be his fault. Haggai Farron is off the circuit. We just went past. Doesn't look like there's any damage to that car. I'm not sure if there was contact involved there. Guess we'll have to wait and see. But Yehuda Ben-Yosef does have a penalty. Everyone running on the grass. Schalve almost loses the car. Michael Schürling all the way to the right-hand side of the track to try and avoid him, and he's up into second. And is Schalve going to have any kind of comeback at all into the final corner? No, he's not. Takes a bit of a wide line though. He's going to try and get the switchback done, almost touching. They are so close to come through the final corner now. This has allowed Gross to increase his lead slightly. Let's see the sort of lap times that they've been putting in. Schalve really far on the grass. Reem Gross was as well. Schalve almost losing the rear end of that car as he went over the grass. Did pretty well to keep hold of it. As Joseph looks like he's going to serve as penalty.
I think Joseph had some sort of issue on that lap as well. Before we saw the penalty dished out, because he'd lost a lot of places before that. Well, it goes from bad to worse for Haggai Farron. I was just about to say that the pole position was probably the highlight of the evening, because since then he has been dealt a really cruel hand. Contact at the start, a spin earlier on in this lap, and to compound measures this time,
oh dear,
he gets collected by a rather iffy rejoin there by that was car 36. That was really Sieur, that was just getting back going again. And Haggai Farron, well, if his race wasn't over before that, it certainly is now, and that's a massive shame for him. As here we are looking at Moshi Pinchevsky in 24th place.
Yeah, absolutely, really unfortunate for him. I believe the drivers get a fast repair, so he was able to get back into the pits, luckily, so he's not going to lose too much time. But yeah, he's going to have to go into the pits, which the drivers are not necessarily having to do. There's no mandatory pit stop as we've seen in a couple of other rounds. What's happened to Reem Gross? Reem Gross has gone off at the S's. He's going to lose a lot of positions there. Around the outside goes John Chico. Very brave stuff from him. But Reem Gross, seemingly potentially an unforced error. We'll have to wait and see for the replay. And he comes through into the S's section. Michael Sherling close behind. Oh, touches the grass. And that's, yeah, that's one way to do it. That will send your car around. And here comes John Chico around the outside. That was a pretty good move from him. Reem Gross returning the favor now, side by side as they come to cross the start-finish line to start lap number 6. And Gross just had to settle for 5th. He's going to try and make it around the outside. Is he? No, it looks like he's going for the switchback potentially. And towards turn number 1, just trying to close that gap down as much as possible. He's also got Ron Itak just behind.
Yeah, really close scrap going on here for 4th on back. Reem Gross doesn't want the top 2 to get away, hence why he's trying to get by as quickly as he can. The hairpin might pose itself as a good opportunity, but he doesn't get the best exit out of the S's, and there you go, really see a stop and go penalty for an unsafe rejoining right into the path of Haggai Farron. Late braking there from Chico. Is he going to make the corner? Just about does. Hits the apex, but does run wide on the exit. And now this might pose an opportunity for Reem Gross to get the place off John Chico, sorry, as we go through the left-hander. This is where one of the layouts on Sebring has its start-finish line. This is halfway around the lap here. And Gross going for the outside, the inside line, the door is open. Up the inside, but Reem Gross is able to power around on the outside and just about hold on going into Tower Bend. And the gap now between Matty Bakar in 3rd and John Chico in 4th was extended to 4 seconds, so a lot of time lost by Reem Gross on this lap in his pursuit to try and get by John Chico.
Absolutely, and Itak well and truly in this battle here. Bit squirrely on the brakes was Gross, but nothing like what we saw a lap ago. Now trying to use as much circuit on the outside. Oh, he's got a much better exit than Chico now, side by side. A little bit of a defensive blocking happening here from Chico. Trying to squeeze Gross as much as possible down the back straight. Taking the outside line now it's Gross's turn to do the squeezing. Up the inside he goes, and that is a fairly simple move done for him. Up into the final corner. And he will reclaim 4th position, but yeah, like you said, there's now a 4-second gap between himself and Matty Bakar in 3rd.
Already halfway through the race, Chico and Gross getting very close there going into the first corner, but it is a 50 car that is able to get ahead. And watch out for Ron Isak potentially trying to get around the outside. He's going for the outside here. And Chico, I don't think he's going to be able to do much to stop him, or is he? He's going to come back up the inside here. Both drivers fighting desperately hard for the place now. And there's a problem for Matty Bakar. He's lost a whole load of places. The grey car there, car 277, is now down to 6th place, and it may get even worse. And it looks like it was potentially a spin or a half spin on the exit of the S's.
Absolutely, 2 wide, 2 rows back now. Chico on the inside of that one at the front. They're still side by side out of the hairpin. Chico on the inside. It will be the outside for this left-handed kink, but it will become the inside once again, braking just before the first set of cones on the left-hand side of the circuit. Oh, really close to contact. More contact into this corner. There's Chico into Rom Itek. Oh, and they're stuck together.
Oh, Cohen just about misses him. Oh no, he hits the oncoming barrier as well. That shouldn't cause too much damage, actually. In fact, it looks like it might have done, you know.
Oh dear.
Oh, and very nearly clattered into the back there goes John Chico.
Sherling in the lead of the race then, of course. And Gross, sorry, Shalvo catching up to him. Let's see what happened to Matty Bakar earlier on in that lap. Touching the curb, all good. Under braking, just loses under braking. Centered in a bit too hot. Didn't even touch the grass at all. Did a bit of a drift there, got the car stopped, but unfortunately lost a heap of position, which he's now gained back. He is now up into 5th. It's not the 3rd position that he was just in, but he's got Sard Deco just ahead of him. Has he maybe got a slowdown penalty? It was a very odd line that he was taking through the final corner there. but he retains fifth position. He's got Nikot Mizrahi and Alon Day. Alon Day up into 7th.
That is a gain of 24 places for the reigning champion. Next up on his list is Nikot, and it doesn't look like he's showing any signs of slowing down. As here is the fight for the lead. Shalvik Kazalvali versus Michael Schürling. Going into the hairpin, side by side, wheel to wheel stuff here, late on the brakes. Schürling's not going to give up. Neither is Shalva here. Schürling up the inside. The two almost make contact. That was very close. And they're still going to be at it again. They're side by side now for a good few corners now.
Absolutely. Schürling will have the inside line for this corner. We've seen a lot of drivers making contact here. Are they going to avoid it? Still side by side. Running almost in formation here. Schürling onto the grass on the outside to try and keep as much speed as possible. Still side by side in towards this right-handed. Really tricky stuff here. Oh, and Shalva's got a great exit there. Schürling tucks in behind to second. What a move. What racing. Awesome racing between these two drivers here. Is Schürling going to have anything to say into this section? No, he's not. I think that's a wise move. Almost touching these cars, separated by less than a car's length. Now onto the back stretch. Schürling's going to have all of the draft from Shalva's car. Limited draft available from these cars, but it is there. Is Schürling going to have enough time to make a move into the final corner? I don't think he will. He has a bit of damage to the front of the car that might be affecting his top speed slightly. Shalva's car looking clean though. Shalva goes wide. That's going to allow Schürling up the inside. Is it? Yes, it is. And this almost side by side. Schürling cuts him off. Shalva to the outside as they come to start lap number 9.
Well, he heard clear in his ear and he went straight across, as did Michael Schürling. On the inside, I think, is Shalva going to try and go for the mother of all cutbacks. He's going to try. Michael Schürling going on the defensive straight away here, straight to the inside to block Shalva. And he makes a corner as well. Short shifting there from the 94 car to try and get up through the gearbox as quickly as he can. He doesn't want to spin the rear tyres, lighting them up, does Michael Schürling, just in front of us. And Shalva, who just got the lead going onto the back straight, missed his braking point going into Sunset Bend and was very lucky not to enter in the tyre barrier. I thought for certain that was where he was going.
Yeah, absolutely. These two so close. I thought Shalva had it done there, but he just into the final corner. Very, very, very good actually for him to keep it out of that barrier on the outside. I've also done that before. I did a lot of races here at Sebring last season. Oh, and look at this. It's Alon Day trying to squeeze his way up the inside of Nikot Mizrahi. Battle for 6th position then, still side by side. Alon Day is going to go down to the inside, braking at the first set of cones on the left-hand side. Down the inside he goes, and he has made that move. Stick up into 6th position. That's 25 places above where he started. The two-time Euro NASCAR Whelen Series champion. Potentially 3 times if he can win a couple more races this season. Currently leading the championship by 13 points, I believe. And yeah, he's doing absolutely brilliantly, both in the real world and here in the iRacing Israel League 2. He's now got his eyes set on Sardeco. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead hasn't gone anywhere. Oh wow.
Michael Schürling moving across to the inside very late on there. That was just when Shalva was beginning to get the overspeed with the slipstream. He's now going to try and use the outside line to his advantage for the final corner. There's not too much grip out there, as Shalva's just found out, and Michael Schürling is able to maintain his lead, and the gap remains 0.3 of a second. But as you can see, Shalva just searching this way and that around the very wide Sebring International Raceway, especially in that final sector, to try and find a way through. But as things stand, Michael Schürling is making his Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car as wide as possible.
It is a very narrow circuit for much of the circuit here at Sebring, but then there's some really wide sections which are really inviting for some overtakes, as we've seen. A great defense from Michael Schürling there into Sunset Corner, into the hairpin. Oh, it's a lock-up from Schürling that's allowed Shalva to catch up slightly. He doesn't need much of an invitation, does Shalva? He's pretty much right on the back, couple of car lengths in it. Here they come to start the tight and twisty bit in the middle of the circuit. Oh, a little bit of oversteer from Michael Schurling. Had to get a whole lot of opposite lock going on there. Into possibly one of the more difficult corners on the circuit. My favorite corner on the circuit. Nice and cannon on the inside, but really bumpy on the exit. These drivers, absolute pros. As Shalva right on the back now. Riding on board with him, looking ahead at the leader, Michael Schurling. See almost nothing separating them, going for the wider line is Shalva. That's not a great line from Schurling, but Shalva takes a little bit too much curb on the exit, or on the apex even. Bounce the car up a bit. He's going to look to the inside. Schurling defends, he goes to the outside. Exactly what we saw last time out. Schurling oh so close to the wall. Shalva this time still running a little bit wide, but not as wide as we saw last time out. Really surveys ahead. The lapped car still side by side. This time Shalva's made the move stick.
Great move from Shalva, but is Michael Schurling going to respond straight away? He's looking at the inside into the first corner, but Shalva's able to carry the speed around the outside and pull clear of Schurling, who almost loses it himself on the exit there. They are coming up on some lap traffic. This is really Sieur who we saw come into the pits to serve a stop and go penalty after that unsafe rejoin earlier on where he collided with Haggai Farron. I wonder if he's going to be able to get out of the way. I think he is. He's going to adhere to the blue flags. They are just advisory on iRacing. You don't have to get out of the way like in F1. You can continue to do what you like really on iRacing with the blue flags. But he's been able to get out of the way straight away and allow these two to carry on racing without too much interruption at all. And as it stands, Shalva, now that he's got the lead, will try and escape from Michael Schurling, but now the shoe is on the other foot, and Schurling will be starting to get what little slipstream he can get off the back of this Porsche now as going to the tight and twisty section with a couple of laps to go. When we get to the line, there'll be 3 laps left of this enthralling fight for the lead here at Sebring. These two are 7 seconds ahead of the rest of the field.
Yeah. And Schurling right behind, you can see the orange hue being cast over the circuit now. The sunset here at Sebring just peeking through the blanket of clouds above. Oh, Schurling getting really close. That wasn't a good line from Shalva. Schurling right on the inside takes a much tighter line than Shalva does through that final apex. Shalva straight away down to the inside defending. There are a couple of landmines there. Schurling's not going to want to go to the inside. He's going to want to go to the outside. Staying in the draft then. Round the outside he's going to go. Shalva keeping that inside line. Schurling's going to go for the switchback. Who gets the better of the 2 exits here. Both extending the track as much as possible. And looks like Shalva's going to hold on for another lap. Alon Day, meanwhile, has moved up into 5th after passing Sard Dekel.
And that now is update 26 places going for Alon Day. I think he might have reached his ceiling here because the next car is 3.2 seconds up the road, and Alon Day will need to drive flat out if he wants to get a spot in the top 4. But still, considering he started at the back, fantastic achievement. Up the inside then comes Nick Kopis-Rahi. No way through there, but you might be able to get the inside into the beginning of the S's. But Iron Shirt late enough on the brakes to be able to keep the number 2 car in 8th place. He's up 6 places since the start of the race.
What a save.
Yeah, very good, and he did exactly what he needed to do there. He was about to lose the rear, jammed on the brakes, and he was able to stop the car just looping around on him, and he's able to keep his 8th place.
What a save there. I thought for sure he was going around. A little bit of a touch on the grass in the braking zone caused that one. As we see Michael Simon's car absolutely wrecked, as is Ron Cohen's. Drivers in 13th, 14th and 15th on screen now, and Sade is in the 147 just behind this GP-inspired livery. Leaders almost side by side. Schurling sends one down the inside.
Oh my word.
Oh, and completely loses the rear there. How did they not touch? Back onto the back straight they go. Schurling got a much better exit now, you can see, on the timing tower and on the battle box in the bottom right hand corner. Schurling catching up 0.2 of a second just down the straight. Shalva closing the door. Schurling's not going to be able to make it past right now, although Shalva making a bit of a mistake halfway through, being pushed across the line. 2 laps to go here. Shalva leads by 9/100ths of a second.
Yeah, they were stuck together. And look at the inside, Michael Schurling. Is he going to make the corner? Surely he's not going to be able to. It was a valiant effort, and Shalva regains the lead. And just a couple of moments ago on the previous lap, I thought for certain they were going to make contact, but unfortunately they were able to survive, and Schurling himself nearly losing the rear, as you were mentioning there.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive send from Schurling into the first of the S's, and then yeah, he lost the rear end through the corner. I don't know how he managed to save that and avoid contact, but unfortunately for us, he's dropped back to about half a second behind Shalva. I think that might just be too far away for him to battle for the lead for the rest of the race. Only 2 laps to go, of course, 1.5 laps for the leaders, but it is as close as ever in the midfield. There is Ron Cohen having a look at Michael Simon. Michael Simon disappearing for a moment. There he is, back again. But look at the timing tower. Sardekel 21 seconds behind the leaders. Then Near Cop on 23. Schur in 24 seconds behind. Mancioni a couple seconds back from that. Yossi Gabai right behind him. And Heskia right behind Yossi Gabai as well. And then about 10 seconds back, we have this little scrap between these 3 drivers. Ron Cohen, that is a very late lunge. Is he going to get it slowed down in time? Michael Simon just about does. A little bit on the grass. Ron Cohen's going to go around the outside. Onside is going to follow him. Michael Simon has just been mugged there.
Looks like he's suffering with damage a bit, isn't he? Michael Simon, the damage to the front right of the car, not helping him too much on the exit of the corner there. He hasn't been into the pits to get a fast repair, but he's taking his track position at the moment, and that's Aaron Sade through into 14th place. The gap at the front remains around 0.4 of a second, and they have just crossed the line now to start the final lap. So this could get pretty interesting as the white flag is in the air. They're on the top 2.
Whoa. I didn't think he was going to be able to catch Shalva with the time that was given to him, but he is right on the back of him, isn't he? Just about 2 car lengths between them, maybe. No overtaking opportunities here. He's going to have to try and catch up as much as possible on this lap and try a lunge later on in the lap, potentially into the hairpin, but he's way too far back to be doing that. He's going to have to bide his time, try and catch up to maybe, I think the last corner is going to be the best overtaking opportunity for him. And the gap between them 0.4 of a second, now decreasing 3.5 tenths as they make their way out of the first sector in towards the second sector. Tight and twisty this one. Michael Shirley really catching up, less than a car length between the 2 now. Ooh, it looked like Shalva might have been a bit loose there. He actually was. 0.2 of a second now is the gap between the drivers. Shirley running a little bit wide there. Both drivers avoiding the grass on the outside. That could spell disaster. Michael Schurling a little bit on the dirt there, but that won't have slowed him down too much. 0.3 of a second. They are super close. Heading into the S's for the final time. Let's see. This exit of the S's is going to be crucial for Shalva. Both of them running wide lines. A car length separating the 2. And I don't think Shurling's going to be close enough.
Yeah, that was a really good exit from Shalva. Took the better line, in my opinion, through that right hand and was able to just extend his cushion just a little bit, and it looks like it might just be enough as long as he can nail his braking into here.
We've seen him not have the best line through there before. Wow, really slow Michael Schurling, super sideways as he comes around the final corner, but it will be Shalva who takes the win here at Sebring by just 0.3 of a second. Michael Schurling finishing in second. Awesome racing between these 2 guys. Radzioni in 8th. He's got Schur just behind. Reemgross finishes in 3rd, then Matty Picard in 4th. Alon Day finishes in 5th. Unbelievable effort from Alon Day. 26 positions up from where he started, I believe. And these 3 drivers now, Nick Masrahi, Rancioni, and Schur, and there's Yossi Gabai in the background as well to finish out the top 10. Still side by side at the back though. This is Alon Zeltzer and Toma Ventura on the inside as Ventura. Let's see, coming into the final corner. Very late on the races, Ventura. Oh, he's lost the rear. Is he going to be able to keep it out of the wall? Just about, but that is gifted the position back to Zeltzer. Oh, and he spun out of the final corner, taking out the cones. Is he going to reverse over the line? No, he's going to turn around. I would have just reversed there. I think that might have been quicker.
I think it's a bit far away maybe to reverse, especially when the reverse gear probably doesn't give you too much speed. I think I was maybe just a bit too far away from home to do that. But yeah, doing it in style there, Toma Ventura.
Yeah, some donuts before he crossed the line. That was totally planned. That's what we'll go with. Sherling just sitting on the track. Looks like it could be potentially out of turn 1. Yep, that's on the outside of turn 1.
Yeah, the scene of some of his attempted overtakes earlier on. There was that full send up the inside of a Shalva earlier on that he nearly managed to hold on to, but did run wide on the exit. And what a brilliant race that was between the two of them. They looked like they were really struggling to put the power down there, and you could see they were trying as hard as they could to keep the lead. And there was one lap where they were side by side for pretty much 2/3 of it. It was a fantastic battle between those two, who were comfortably ahead of Ringgross in the end. A good 7-second margin back to Riemann in third. So those two were really setting a good pace at the front of the field.
Yeah, they really were. Here are the race results then. The official results, we got Shalva on top after an amazing battle in the last half of the race with Michael Sherling. Ringgross finishes 9 seconds back in third. Mehdi Bakar in fourth. Alon Day up 26 positions, our reigning champion in fifth. Sardekel in sixth. Nikot Mizrahi in seventh. Rancioni in eighth. Then Aiden Sher and Yossi Gabai rounding out the top 10. Gerard Heske in 11th, Dekal Nara in 12th, Ron Cohen in 13th, Oren Saleh, Michael Simon, or I'll have Alon Zeltzer and Ida Isaac rounding out the top 18. And then we have got quite a few more drivers. Ruben Chachishvili in 19th. What could have been for him? Tom Ventura in 20th, Dormalko in 21st. Then Weinraub in 22nd, Moshe Machevsky in 23rd, Portman, Ben Yosef, Chico Diag, and really Sir in 28th, who finished a lap down. Joel Epstein also a lap down, then Ron Itak 6 laps down. He didn't finish, neither did Emma Meshalam, who got flipped over during that race. He's 8 laps down, and then Haggai Farron in last. So it appears they don't have fast repairs in this race after all. Absolutely demolished by a driver who lost the rear out of the final corner. Well, we do have quite a few drivers to interview, but before then, Adam, what's an absolutely incredible race between the front two drivers we've just seen?
That was brilliant to watch around a track where I didn't expect it to be as close as that. Sebring, a track known for its attrition, I thought we were going to see quite a lot of spread out packs, and that's a fantastic scrap for the lead. To be fair to Haggai Farron, he may have had fast repairs available to him, but after the luck that he had in the first couple of laps, I wouldn't have been surprised if he just packed up there and then, to be fair, because everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. And we're going to see it from this start replay here, because Haggai Farron, who had just gained that pole position late on in the qualifying session, gets a little nudge from what I think was Ringgross going into the first corner, and that resulted in him spinning. And there's Ruben Chachashvili in the 42.
Oh, there was contact.
Yeah, and Ruben Chachashvili in the 42 having to take evasive action there as well, and that was the start of what was a pretty dismal race for the pole sitter there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if there was too much contact involved between himself and Ringgross. It looked like it at first glance, but in that replay, I'm not too sure. But there was definitely contact with Chachashvili, who tried to go all the way around the outside, and it looks like there might have been further contact involving Chachashvili later on down that little stretch towards turn number 2. There is Shalva. He started down in 5th and then clawed his way up through the field, eventually ending up with that awesome battle with Michael Sherling. Well, let's get our race winner in for a chat then. Mr. Shalva, let's have a chat with him. Let's just bring him in here into the commentary booth then. Shalva, can you hear us?
Yes, hello guys.
Well, welcome. Congratulations for the race win after a pretty intense battle, it must be said, with Michael Sherling there.
Yeah, thank you guys. One of the, I think, pretty much the funnest race I've had in this league in the season so far. It was really difficult. I got lucky. A lot of people spun, but at the end, somehow I managed to hold Sherling back. It was much quicker, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you really had your work cut out for you. Probably the one that you had to, the win for this season that you've had to work the hardest for. You really did have to work hard there. Talk us through that. You must have been pretty nervous going too wide through some of the corners. We're seeing on the replay now how you initially got past Michael Sherling around the outside of him when he had to slow down for that incident involving the organizer, Eschalam. You did pretty well to avoid that, but then you had to keep him behind you, and eventually he got past. But you had to make some pretty interesting moves, and that final corner seemed to be a pretty good overtaking spot for you.
Definitely, that was the place where I was catching up to him the most on the back straight. So I was uh, just chilling behind him the whole lap, trying not to make anything crazy, and just to set me up for the just that final turn, which I had the advantage on with the slipstream. And yeah, and overall it was extremely difficult. Like I knew I wasn't going to be the fastest this week because lack of practice and just people got really quick over the season. So I knew Sebring, it kills a lot of people just with the bumps. Like it's so bumpy, and I was just hoping people will spin, make mistakes, and I was just trying to stay relaxed and just stay behind the leaders. And if the opportunity presents itself, then take it, which I did, and I'm glad that I managed to get it.
Absolutely. Well, you were leading the championship heading into this round, but the drop weeks are starting to be counted. 3 out of the 12 weeks will be dropped, the lowest 3 scores for each of the drivers. I think you've only had potentially one poor round that I can remember over the last good few months or so. I think that was at Lime Rock Park where you crashed out of the race.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end there. Everyone else has seemed to have a bit worse luck than you. Are you worried a little bit about drivers maybe using those drop weeks as they start to be counted in the last couple of rounds and catching up?
For sure, like the math gets so complicated when you try to calculate if you're in the lead and whatnot. So I just decided to just keep pushing all the way through and keep getting good results. This time I've managed to drop a Lime Rock with my performance, and hopefully in the next races I'll be able to drop some more weeks as well, getting some good points.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Only 2 rounds left then. Of course, Shalva, thanks so much for having a chat with us. Congratulations on the win. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely to Sherling. I mean, that was so much fun. Good luck, man, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Well, thank you so much for having a chat, and hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Great talking to you guys. See ya.
Well, that was great to hear from there, and with a fantastic performance. But I think now Adam is going to be standing by with the second place man of Michael Sherling.
Yeah, let's grab Michael Sherling in for a quick word. And Michael Sherling, can you hear us?
Yeah, hey guys.
Well, that was a fantastic battle at the front, and it looked like you were giving absolutely everything out there to try and keep the leads towards the end of the race.
Yeah, it was a fantastic battle. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I tried everything, of course, in the limits of trying not to cause an accident. I think we were fighting very nicely on the limit and both left each other space. I'm really sad I was not able to win because I think I could win this race, but at least it's losing to Shalva. Let's say it's the best driver we have currently.
You got a good start and was able to avoid all were able to avoid all of the chaos in the first few corners. And after that, you and Shalva were exceptionally close. There was that lap where I think you were side by side for pretty much a good few corners, or at least pretty much most of it as well.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to, to give up little a bit because I was taking all the inside turns basically, and nothing. Just stick in the outside. I think it was like 5 corners maybe, until he was able to pull forward. Yeah, this was a close one. A lot of fun.
Must be happy with the amount of progress that you've made this season. You're starting to compete for race victories on a regular basis now as well.
Let's say this is maybe the first race that I was actually competing for a race win. Hopefully, yeah, it will go to this direction. I was very good, specifically at this track. I don't know. I like it very much. Let's hope it will continue like this.
Was it a pretty low grip surface out there? Because we were watching both you and Shalva towards the end, and it looked like you were really struggling to put the power down in the closing stages.
Yeah, because it's our race is maybe 20% longer than the official races, so we're not used to. At least I'm not used to those 4 last laps with the tires when they are gone. But actually, it wasn't that bad. Let's say, just I was a bit more careful on those laps.
Brilliant. Well, before we let you go, Michael, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, to you guys and Amir, and of course to Shalva. He's always giving us his best laps and everything, and teaches us. So it's mostly for him. Also Hagai, who helps a lot.
Well, well done on the second place today, and hopefully we'll be seeing you competing at the front again in the final 2 races of the season.
Thank you, guys.
Michael Sherling there. Good to hear from him in second place, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really great battle to see between himself and Shalva there, and I think next driver on the list has got to be third place man there on screen, Reem Gross. Let's get him in for a chat. Reem, can you hear us?
Yes. Hey there.
Well, congratulations on the third place. You were running quite up near the top, but near the beginning of the race, but then made a bit of a catastrophic error.
Yeah, it was a big error. Put the wheel on the grass and has no traction, and was able to take back a few places and finish third.
Absolutely, you have to work your way back up through the field. Talk us through Sebring. It's a really difficult circuit, lots of bumps, lots of really tricky corners. The walls are pretty close here as well. One of the trickier circuits on the calendar, would you say?
Yeah, it's a really tricky race. It's new track for me. It's my first time here. It was really difficult to learn the track and be able to do clean laps. You saw at the race that I couldn't do that, but I was able to put some pace and finish third. It was good.
Yeah, you had a pretty lightning start as well, sending one up the inside of Hagai Farron at the start as well. Was there contact between you two at the start? I didn't quite see it on the replay.
I think it was really minimal contact. It was really close. I don't know if I hit him, but it was really close. Then he spun and I took the first place. Yeah, and that's it.
Well, Reem, with just 2 weeks after the championship, things are getting close. You've had a couple of really good results here, also a couple of not so good results. What are you hoping to try and achieve in the last 2 rounds of the season?
I'm hoping to achieve the second place of the season. Shalva, of course, he guaranteed the first place. There is a battle on the second place and trying to do it.
Well, best of luck for that, Reem. Congratulations on the third place. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yes, of course. I want to say a big shout out to Ariel Dabush and his company 3D Boot X. His 3D print. So thank you, and thank all the league for the good racing. And thank you guys.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Reem, and hopefully we'll see you back here in a couple weeks' time.
So too. Thank you.
Well, it was great to hear from our third place driver here today at Sebring. And I believe, Adam, we've got a special guest coming up next.
I believe you must be referring to Alon Day, am I right? Let's get him in for a quick word. And he joins us now. Alon, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. What about me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. And just the 20, just the 26 places for you gained today.
Not enough. It's not enough. I should have gained at least 30.
Well, I think you gained 17 or something remarkable after 2 or 3 laps. There was a lot of cars spinning this way and that around you in the first few corners. So talk us through how you managed to avoid all that.
Basically, I just cruise the first 2 laps, and people just die around me, and that's how I gain most of the positions. I didn't practice at all for this race, so I knew that I need to be super careful. I didn't want to hurt anyone or crash into anyone, so I took it super easy. So yeah, basically in the at least first 2 laps, just people die around me, and this is how I gain most of the places. And then I just slowly start passing people without causing any problems. I really wanted to finish the race without any off track. Unfortunately, again, I got like 1, but still a good result, decent result.
I guess those first couple of laps as well, where you were taking things a bit more cautiously, you were able to get a bit of a feel for the car at this circuit if you hadn't done too much in the way of practice.
Yeah, also, as I told you last time, I'm driving with a really bad equipment, like shitty laptop, and so even the sky now, I think it was overcast, like a lot of clouds, and the FPS in my computer started dropping and was really difficult to drive. So through the whole race, I was super careful. But yeah, I missed my own rig back in Israel and start making qualifying. I think I like the idea of starting from the back, but I want to like fight against Shalva again. I missed the fights at the top, but I know that right now, I don't think I will be able to practice enough or have a good quality of practice and quality of equipment here to beat those guys. They're extremely quick.
Will we see you in the final 2 races of the season?
Yeah, I will try to. Maybe again from the back. I hope even more people will join us. I think it's great to see that the iRacing Israeli League grown so much, and now we have I think 32 cars on the grid. And yeah, I really hope that by the end of the season we will be, I don't know, around 35, 36. That will be amazing. And yeah, I think it's a remarkable achievement for this championship. And thanks again to everybody that organized and working hard for bringing up this kind of esport. I think it's amazing. Even those times when I'm here in Belgium, during those COVID weird times with the lockdown and everything, there's still like something that brings me smile to my face, and I think that's I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and we echo that as well. And
I guess you guys we're all in the same boat, yeah.
oh yeah, we're back in lockdown again here. And we second that as well. I remember when we first started covering this series, I think you were part of it as well. The entries were around the just below the 20 mark, and since then we're now getting 30
it's amazing. I think it's really amazing, and let's hope it will keep growing.
Yeah, definitely. And all the best coming up, Alon, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you again in the final 2 races of the season, where we'll hopefully see you pulling off some more fantastic moves coming through the field.
hope for that. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
That's Alon Day with his thoughts after a 26 places gained. Not enough, according to him, to get up the field. Top 5, considering he started 32nd, is probably not bad going, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Gaining all sorts of positions. But we're next up, the final interview of the night then. We'll get the next driver to finish the race in the interview room, at least. The number 84 car driver of Nimes Rai. Let's get him in for a chat. Nick, can you hear us?
Hey, yes, I can.
Well, pretty good position for you at the end there. 7th position, and looks like it was a pretty entertaining race for the first couple of laps.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. All the fights, I slipped a lot of times, and it was just fun.
Absolutely. I saw you, I think it was last season potentially, when we were doing a race together in this car and track combination. It was a very long time ago, but I think you might seem to enjoy this track quite a bit. I think it's a very fun car and track combination. What do you think?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks. This one and Detroit. I love them so much. I don't know, maybe it's the concrete or something, but just the flow is really nice. I like that it's a long one. And I really enjoy it.
Well, it's a pretty terrifying circuit. The walls are pretty close on almost all of the corners. Any mistake could end your race. And just hearing from the race producer, Simuli Kuma, Sebring is awesome, the bumps are fun, is his opinion on the circuit. And I have to agree, we're just seeing you drifting your way around the final corner on the broadcast here, but it looks like you had a lot of fun out there. And in 7th position with just 2 races to go, you must be feeling pretty happy with how your season's gone so far.
Yeah, it's great. I think I also improved during the season, and I think my results are getting better slowly. Hopefully next season is gonna be even better.
Well, I definitely hope the same for you, and I have to say, by the way, since we've talked about other people's liveries so much, I do like yours quite a bit, with the beach theme that you've got going on your Porsche 911 Cup car. It's pretty awesome, I have to say. There
Thank
it is.
you
We
very
got a
much.
nice close-up shot.
It took a long time to make it, but
Did you make it yourself?
Yeah.
Well, fantastic job then. Awesome
Thank you.
stuff. Yeah, it looks brilliant. Well, Nick, thank you so much for having a chat with us. Congrats on the decent finish that you've had here, and hopefully we'll see you back again in a couple of weeks' time. But before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, definitely to Amir that organized the tournament, and for Hagai that makes all the guides for us, which is really nice, and Shalva and everyone in this league are so nice and so friendly and helps each other, and I really enjoy it. And thank you guys as well.
Well, thank you yourself, and hopefully we'll see you back here again in a couple weeks' time.
Me too.
Well, it was great to hear from Nick Mizrahi there in the number 84 car driver. We've had an absolutely action-packed round here from Sebring and Adam. That, I think the highlight of the race for myself was that battle we saw between Shalva and Michael. What about you?
It was brilliant to watch, wasn't it, at the front between those two? And I thought for one moment that Michael Schelling was going to be able to get it done. He was really good on that final lap, but just didn't have enough going through the final corner. It looked like he might be able to spring a late photo finish there, but just proved to not be his day in the end. But he had good pace around here, and we'll see if that can carry forward through to the final races, because if he can do that, and the likes of Ruven Chachashvili and Reem Gross, 2 drivers that had issues earlier on in the race that weren't at the front today, they'll definitely have their work cut out for the final 2 races of the season. It should be a good one.
Absolutely, I cannot wait. Well, if you enjoyed the latest round of the iRacing Israel League, be sure to join us in 2 weeks' time. Same time, 8 p.m. GMT or 10 p.m. Israeli time. On Monday evening, 2 weeks' time, for the penultimate round of Season 3 in the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars. I've been named Baird, joined by Alan Barth with Simuli Kumo controlling the cameras and the SDK Gaming overlay on the screen. But from us, from everyone here at Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Israel League, thank you for watching, wish you a good night, and happy racing.